Hello, good evening, everyone. I hope you all are doing well. If I am clearly audible and clearly visible, put a thumbs up or a yes sign in the comment section. Let me see. Oh, yeah, in the beginning there was a sound issue. I think it's cool now. Yeah, okay, great. Okay, so we are back with another wonderful session. So let me just present my screen. Yeah. So yeah, all of you know about Hack4Bengal, a community initiative that we are organizing, and it's the East India's largest in-person hackathon to be held from 7th of July to 9th of July in this weekend, right? Proceeding about today's event, the topic of today's event is full stack Web3 development using the graph. Okay, so our speaker is Pranav Maheshwari. He is an engineer working on the graph protocol, and he is also the host of a show Web3 Ki Dunia. So our speaker is already with us here. Let me add him. Hello, Pranav. How are you?
Hey, I'm good.
Cool. Okay. So, Pranav is already here with us. Moving forward, we just want to thank the Graph India community for becoming our sponsor. They are our gold sponsor for supporting us in our hackathon initiative. Right. So we have a prize pool. We will discuss about the prize pool a little bit later on, and our speaker will also throw a light on the prize pool and how you can win those in the hackathon. Now, moving forward, I am providing the stage to Pranav. You can carry on the presentation from here.
All right. Hello, everybody. I'll be presenting my screen to tell you what is the graph and how you can do a whole Web3 development on the graph. And we'll start with, first of all, understanding what is indexing, then what is the graph and why does blockchains need indexing. And at the end, I will we'll do a demo in which I'll deploy a smart contract. And from that smart contract, I'll also deploy a subgraph through which you can do indexing. So hope you're excited, and yeah, we can just get started. I'll just share my screen. Uh, okay, so yeah, here we go. Basically, indexing smart contracts using blockchain, right? So what is indexing? First of all, we need to understand what is indexing to understand what does the graph do. So basically, indexing is there is a clutter of data that exists in the world, and that is not usable. You know, whatever data exists in the world right now is not usable unless it is arranged in the right way, right? There is a clutter of data that exists, but you just need to arrange it in the right way so that it can be consumed. So basically, indexing is making cluttered data usable, and that's what is required in the web 2 world as well, or what we call as the current web as well. The web would not have been used if we did not have Google, and Google is also nothing but an indexing protocol on the web 2 world. Basically, if I go and type anything like your university, or like, let's say I just type Hack4Bengal, I get the right results. The reason behind that is that the web 2 is currently indexed by Google, and you can just search things and get the right results, because there is a lot of data, a lot of websites, a lot of things that exist on the web, but what you need can only be served through you with indexing. And that's what the web 2 world has the Google has done for the web 2 world. Now we come to blockchains. Blockchains are even more complicated structures because they are like blocks of data, right? Basically, you might have known and heard that blockchains are nothing but linked list structures in which data is filled inside, and all of them are related to one another, right? That's how blocks in a blockchain are formed, and that's how blockchains actually exist in the current format. So the data in the Web3 world is, for a good news, more open source. Everybody can see whatever is required, but all that data is not in the right format. It is, as like I was showing you this GIF, it exists like a ball, like these kind of balls. You cannot exist this data. If I just show you from a block, you can see that there is a red data, there is green, there is orange, there is pink. So whatever transactions I do, let's say I do a transaction with Uniswap, then I do a transaction with some other thing, and at the end it is a clutter of data that exists inside a block. And that block is something that one cannot actually use directly, right? You need the data in the right format so that you can get what you want. For example, if you want to have information about all the transactions you have done on Uniswap blockchain, or what is the price of USDT versus Ethereum, right? You can get it from the swaps that have happened on the blockchain. That you cannot get unless you have something like the graph, which converts the block data, which looks like this, into something like this, which can be consumed at a later time, right? And that's why many organizations have created their own subgraphs for getting that kind of a data. If I show you architecturally, this is how the blockchain data looks like. This is how architecturally your interfaces interact with. You have something like the info.uniswap page or any of the smart contracts that exist in the world, right? They have the smart contract. As a user, you interact with the UI that in general interacts with the smart contract, and from that smart contract you get the data to your front end with a middleware, something like the graph, right? So you have the smart contract where you are doing and storing the information. How do you get that smart contract information to the front end? There is something like a middleware called the graph, in which you build subgraphs so that you can get your information to the front end, right? That's about it. Where does the graph stick in this whole of the infrastructure? You can say there is a dApp front end that you will be creating. There'll be a blockchain on top of which you will be deploying a smart contract, and in between you will deploy a subgraph so that you can put the information that exists inside the smart contract to your front end app, right? How do we do that? Let me show you a small demo to make everybody be aware of it. If you have any questions, you can just post it over here. But I would want you guys all to follow along in this particular demo. I know it's a little tough to follow along in live demos, but I'll keep it very slow. Plus, I'll keep it very basic level. First of all, we'll deploy uh, uh, a smart contract, a very basic ERC20 or a ERC721 smart contract. We'll deploy that, and then we'll create a subgraph of that ERC721 smart contract. All right. So if that looks good to you, then let's just do it right now. Remix. I go on. Let me just share my screen again in a minute. Share entire screen. Hope you can see this other screen that I have shared right now, right? So I'll go on Remix, which is a very popular IDE to deploy a smart contract. All right, I'm here. Now what I'll do is I will create a new workspace, right? And we'll deploy a simple, let's say, a ERC20 smart contract, mintable, burnable, loggable. Cool. Okay. So I have the smart contract. This is my simple smart contract, and I've generated it from the template that is given to me by Remix. I hope everything is clear up till here. Very basic ERC20 smart contract that exists over here. Now what I'll do is I'll deploy the smart contract on Sepolia blockchain. I'm on Sepolia. Here is the ETH I have. If you want some faucet, you can go on it's Alchemy or all these Sepolia faucet pages and give your address and get it. I also got it from there itself before doing this particular video. So let's move forward and let's deploy the smart contract, inject to MetaMask. Let's deploy the smart contract, confirm. Okay, we can see that in the Etherscan here. We have to wait for the smart contract to be indexed by Etherscan. Any questions up till here? I can see follow the demo, folks. Yes, Tushar, follow the demo. Let's do it. If you have any questions, see, I am here for 30 minutes, and believe me, it's a very simple and easy way to just do a subgraph, and the prices that we are giving are good. So maybe you will learn how to deploy a smart contract. Oh my God, Etherscan is taking such a long time. Any questions up till here? It should not be. It's very basic up till now. Okay. So our smart contract is here. We have done the transaction. If I go and check, this is my smart contract that you can see over here. You can also see it in this, like Etherscan, I mean, Remix always gives you the smart contract information here. This is my smart contract. The most important thing is, first of all, I'll verify the smart contract. Okay. So let's verify and publish this smart contract. Single file, MIT open source, continue. Oh, what's the remix version? 0.18. Okay, 0.18, continue. And now what I will do is that this is my smart contract. I'll flatten this file so that I have one single file which I can copy, paste over here, make sure I'm not a robot, and verify my smart contract. The verification is required for subgraph creation. Okay, so that's why I'm verifying the contract. See, I have verified the contract. I have the information that's required. Now the next step is actually to deploy a subgraph. Okay, so let's go to the graph.com. Let me just close this and this as well. Okay, now I go to the studio and create a subgraph first. Create a subgraph, name it hack BG. It's on Sepolia. Create subgraph. Okay, so I have the UI. Now what I do is I just copy the instructions. First of all, I'll have to install the graph CLI library locally in my desktop. Make sure that it is deployed. You can use npm or yarn, any of these. I have it deployed locally. So the way to check it is I go to, okay, first clear. I go to I have to go to graph dash version, and I'll be able to see this. So if you have installed the library, you should also be able to see this information. Okay. Any questions up to here? Key questions? Yeah. Okay. So we have the graph library done. The next thing that we'll do is basically what I'll do is I'll deploy my ERC20 subgraph as well. So the way to do it is that I will go here and write, let me go into a folder first. Desktop, mkdir demo. I've created this demo folder. I'm inside it. Now what I'll do is a very magical thing. Graph init dash index events from contract, and this is the contract address. See, remember, I've already have this locally installed. If you don't, then you'll not be able to get the graph commands right, but since I have it, I can do it. Let me just copy the contract, which is this one, and my subgraph will be created by the graphman command itself. That's the magic about the graph CLI. You just need to have a smart contract. You need to verify the smart contract information on the Etherscan. It will pull in the information and give you a very good subgraph template that you can use as well. So this is the, let me go to Sepolia. This is the, fetching the information, fetching block data. Okay, what's the block? This was the block this subgraph was created on. I'll paste it. It's installing the dependencies. Any questions for girls? People are. Oh, fuck. Okay. This is good. Let's go. Yeah. Let's open this and. Oh, shit. PS code. Yeah, this is good. This is good. Let me. Aha. Come on now. Start code. Let's see. Damn. Okay. So what we'll do is that we will open a new folder. Uh-huh. Come on now. I think I have uninstalled code for some reason. Let me do it live here. Now I will install again. See, demo gods always create problems for us. No problem. Okay. Good. All right. Yeah. So now I will show you guys what is inside this subgraph. Okay. The first one is the subgraph.yaml file that contains the information, the smart contract address, which needs to be indexed, all the events that will be indexed, right? The event names and the network name, which is Sepolia. So first of all, subgraph.yaml that is generated from the graph init command that I showed normally creates you can say it creates a template so that you can just go inside and start coding yourself. It's like the React, start or something like that. It's like the React create app kind of a command. Okay. So subgraph.yml creates something like this. This is how you start. The next thing, let me just put this on side code. Yeah, the subgraph.yml will create this. Once I have it, the next thing I have to do is, the schema. I want to define what information I need in my front end. Let's say somebody is counting the number of approvals a ERC20 smart contract has, or the ownership transfer, or the how many pauses have been done, or how many transfers have been done. That can be done through the schema.graphql. The third and the last and the most important part is the mapping file. So you have the subgraph.yml, which will listen to the event that is fired in the smart contract. You have the schema you have defined so that you know that okay, this is the information that I want to tackle. And the last one is the contract.ts. This file actually converts your event data to the schema file. So it is the middleware between the schema and the raw data that you get. So this is where the most amount of coding is what you have to do. Hopefully, this is how you create a smart contract, because we have already created a ERC20 smart contract. And this is how you create a subgraph. I mean, you have the ERC20 smart contract, which has, let's say, 4 events. You define those 4 events, the address of the smart contract, the network it is deployed on. And the next thing you know is the schema. You want, let's say, approval information and stuff like that. You define over here. And at last, you also have the contract.ts, where you map the raw data inside the event to the schema file. Okay. Hopefully you've understood this. The next thing we do is let's deploy the smart contract. What I will do for that is I will go in the studio that we have created, right, and authenticate. Authenticate graph code gen and build, so that my build file folder is created. Okay, once I have this, the last thing is let's deploy this subgraph on the studio. Once we have this, the next thing we have to do, okay, so our subgraph is deployed. You can see over here, I just did 2 commands, one graph init, index events, and I have the subgraph deployed. Just to wrap up on what we did, first of all, we deployed a smart contract. From that smart contract, what we did is that we verified the smart contract so that we could create a subgraph. Then I did graph init, and I had the whole subgraph template deployed. And once I have the subgraph template deployed, the next thing I have to do is once I have the subgraph template deployed, I have to deploy the subgraph on the studio. So I have the subgraph now. Now, if I go and query, this, you can see that this is, this is owner, but there is no transfer. Let's try if there is a transfer. Because I have not done any transfers, right? Not transfers. Let's try to do a transfer first, then by ID. You can see there are no transfers. Now what I'll do is I'll go in this contract and I'll make a transfer. This is the smart contract. Let's try to do a transfer. Okay, let's do a mint, which is also a kind of transfer. I will transfer to this address and then confirm. And now you will see that this, we'll have our first address mapped soon once this transaction is approved. Yeah, see. So this is what the graph does. It is a middleware between your front end and your smart contract, so that every information that happens inside the smart contract can be tracked via subgraph and pushed to your front end. How do you push it to the front end? This is your GraphQL API, which you can use to your front end to deploy and query anything. For example, there is something like info.uniswap page. You might have seen it if you are a heavy user of DeFi or you have seen the DApp world. All the information that comes over here is coming from a subgraph that the Uniswap team deployed. I can show you that subgraph as well. So if we go on the hosted service, there is a network and the hosted service. You guys should be interested in the studio or the hosted service. Uniswap. So, okay, there are a lot of people who have created subgraphs on this, but let's see this, right? This Uniswap subgraph deployed by Maheshwari gets the information about Uniswap, about token transfers or the rewards, right? Or whatever I want. For example, I want to get information about the token. Let's say I want to get information about the withdrawals, right? The first 10 withdrawals that have happened by ID. I'll just map this out by ID and I can get it, right? So all the information that happens inside the smart contract that can be tracked to the front end via this API. This beautiful UI is also created by subgraph deployed, and then the API of the GraphQL used to get the information. If you want to check, you can go here and just get this. See this. I don't know if I can stretch more on it, but yeah. So you can see this information that you can see, right? That the subgraph gets for you guys, so for the front end. So this is how a subgraph can be used for your dApp development, right? You have a smart contract, right, that needs to put information in the UI, and there is a indexing protocol in between to get the information to the front end. This is how the graph works. Why do we need the graph? It's because there are 15 million blocks on Ethereum right now, even more on Polygon, and even more on layer 2s, which are very, very fast. If you want a block information about a specific transaction, you have to just iterate over 15 million blocks and get that information. And the graph actually is a middleware which is also decentralized, which is what we are working on right now, so that you can get the information in a very quicker time. As I told you, this subgraph, this info.uniswap page is powered by Uniswap, and they have created a subgraph for this whole thing. this is about it. If you want to hack in the Hack4Bengal, we have providing two bounties for everybody. 13k INR for the first prize, 12k INR for the second prize. The judging criteria is that somebody who creates a subgraph or somebody who creates a subgraph or somebody who uses already existing subgraph can actually win a bounty. So if you are building a smart contract, then you should try to create a subgraph and submit for this particular bounty. Or if you are using a subgraph for a front-end UI or something like that, then you can also go. Some helpful material, you can go on GitHub over here and check the page where I have provided all the information that's required, the cheat sheet and the links for good projects that you can look at and create your own subgraph or build on an existing subgraph. If you have any questions, you can ask me on Telegram. This is my Telegram QR. If you want to know more about the graph and stuff, you can also follow me on Twitter and also follow the Graph India community on Twitter. Let me just put there. Let me first of all give you the GitHub URL. Oh shit, I cannot give you. I can just put it in the private chat and maybe the admins can give you that information. Then the Graph India, right? Graph India. This one. Yeah, these two. You should follow for more information. That's about it. If you have any questions, let me just look. Hey Pranav, your professional profile is too good. I'm happy to be your Twitter connection. Looking forward to learning a lot from you. Sure, yes, thank you. I've been knowing you on Twitter for a while. I also saw your tweet today that you did on my thing. And yeah, let's talk more.
Okay, so it was a nice session on the graph protocol. Thanks to Pranav for being with us. Okay, let me just share my screen. Okay, already you have said a lot, like on how the people can win the prize pool of the given by the Graph India community. You have described it. We can proceed. Coming to the next, we have a few questions sent to us. Most of you have already answered, but once again, if you can throw light on them, starting with how to get started with Graph protocol.
Sure, the best way to get started is to watch this video. Uh, and that's how you you can do the full stack development. I have explained everything from writing a smart contract to building a subgraph on that smart contract and putting that subgraph API of GraphQL on the front end.
Got it.
Didn't know about
next
flattening.
Is,
Can you
yeah.
explain in brief? Yes, he's asking. So basically what happens is that when you have a smart contract, what happens is that has a few libraries as well with it. So it's not a full flattened information. It's rather libraries plus using that library you create a smart contract. But that's something you cannot deploy on the Etherscan, right? You need a flattened file which has all the information. So you actually flatten the file so that those libraries can also be imported in a single file, and you can then flatten that file and put that in the Etherscan page. That's why you flatten the file. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so moving on, the next question. Resources, any resources to look for? I guess you have already shared the GitHub page link.
Yeah,
We
the
have
GitHub
shared it
page
in the
will be the
comment
best.
section. Yeah, we have already shared in the comment section. Next one is roadmap to become full stack Web3 developer.
Damn.
Any tips
So
from your side?
basically, wow, roadmap. So there are thousands of roadmap videos that you might see on YouTube. Don't watch that. That's the first thing you need to do. They are all wrong. Everybody has a different way to make the things work in Web3, right? Don't watch a roadmap video. That's actually the roadmap you should not take. The best way to become a Web3 developer is to there are a few DAOs that exist that you teach you for free, like Learn Web3 DAO. Then the Graph also has a graph, thing that Graphica hosts and stuff like that. So get into those particular places, right? They will explain you from the beginning till the very end how to build a subgraph, how to build a smart contract, do everything like that. Alchemy also has a very good university. So getting your hands dirty in blood is very important to becoming something. So start with that, get a job, and then you will become maybe you will eventually become a full stack Web3 developer. What is the advanced of using graph for full stack web? I've explained already. So basically, you can index the information to the front end using subgraphs. So it's a middleware between a smart contract and your front end. Can we find open? So basically, whoever has written this, Web3 is open source. The blockchain data is put on Ethereum blockchain, which is open source. All the code on smart contracts, including most dApps in Web3, which are respectable, have their smart contract and the front end data open source. So you can just flock around and you'll see everything. If they are not open source, that means there might be something shady happening there.
Okay, so got it. That was the questions we have received. Thanks to you. Okay, so that was all from our side regarding this session. Thanks to Pranav for being with us and sharing insights on the graph protocol. Thanks a lot.
Wow,
Moving
what
on,
is this?
folks. Yeah, so this is the link to the our mobile application, Android application. So anybody
Wow.
who haven't yet downloaded, you can scan the QR and download the Hack4Bengal mobile application, Android application. You will get each and every
Wow.
detail there, every announcement, every notification you will get.
You have an app for
Moving.
this? Wow. Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, moving on next. These are the links, the website link, hack4bengal.tech, our Discord link, discord.io/hack4bengal. All these links our team will be sharing in the comment section. You can go and you can join. If you haven't joined our Discord server, it is the first and foremost step you should be doing to get interact with us directly and to get each and every information. For now, of course, as you know, the registrations are closed as we are having the hackathon this weekend. But of course, stay tuned. If you are not selected, no worries. Stay tuned with us. We will again come back next season. You can apply that time. Also, you should see each and every hackathon happening in and around, and you should apply for that. So, those who are coming, let's meet off on 7th of July and happy hacking. Let's build some great projects. Thank you all. Thank you, Pranav, for being with us. Thanks to the Graph India community.